Big welcome to this podcast. I think this podcast is going to be an interesting one and different to talk about, obviously, a few different topics based around self-development, money, freedom, goals, ambition. And one of the main things is like the purpose and waking up in the mornings to something that you're passionate about. A lot of people in this generation seem to be waking up miserable, not enjoying what they do, with no sort of vision moving forward. And they basically live for the weekend because that is the only enjoyment they're getting in their life. So I think this podcast will be good to touch on a few different topics, see what we all think about opinion wise on this as well. So
I think it'd be good to base it on our experiences, base it on members' experiences. So what members we've seen members go from a life they really didn't like to a life they absolutely loved. They're obsessed. They're constantly, doing e-commerce every single day, jumping in our DMs every single day. They just absolutely love. And I've got so many members come to mind straight away as I say that. So it's like really, getting that transition in your life where, come away from the money and everything like that, because everyone is always money driven, but coming away from the money and that and think about how unhappy you was versus how happy you are.
I think as well, I've had the members where they were, miserable in their day-to-day life, but I've also had members that I've spoke to where they didn't realise they were miserable, because I think, and we can probably all relate to this because we've all worked 9 to 5s. When you're in it, it's just like you're almost a computer. It's just assumed. You just put that alarm on, you just assume you wake up,
it's like
get ready for work, and it's just ingrained into you. And I've spoke to people, and like it's not until they've started their e-commerce journey or they've started an online store and they're like, wow, I didn't realize how miserable in my life I was, and like now I've got freedom. Now I take my kids to school. Before I was getting up, I didn't even see them in the morning. And I think
also when you're in a job that you're, or just a situation that you're unhappy with, when you're working on something else, even if you're not where you need to be, it then automatically makes you feel happier, or gives you something inside to deal with that situation, because you're like, I know this isn't going to be long because I'm working on this, or this can provide me with that. So as soon as you've taken like that first step to something new with new opportunities, it all of a sudden makes you feel like, okay, this isn't going to be forever,
because you've got like a purpose, you've got a way out. And I remember, obviously, you guys worked together in the restaurant and I worked there too. But I remember like it'd be a really shitty day, but we'd be in a good mood because like we'd go home and we'd do things together on the business. We knew we were working towards everything else. Everyone would be like, oh, should we go to the pub after work today? And we're like, no. And like, we're happy about it. Like,
there used to be mornings we used to drive to work and we'd be smiling, happy, laughing in the car, and I'm like, fuck, I haven't felt this way for 10 years. Because we'd wake up in the morning and we'd do some work on the computer, even if it's half an hour. I felt progression, so when we're driving to work, we're thinking, wow, like, we feel like we've accomplished something to get us close. So we didn't mind going to work at that point. But I think it's important you understand, like, you sit there and you take a moment to reflect on, are you actually happy in life? Because most people don't get to that point.
But that's personal growth too, isn't it? That's not just like trying to grow and
I think
get
you should
more
grow
money
in all areas of your life, like
Mm.
health wise, like, okay, I've not been the best with health, but recently I've really been focusing on my health. I'm like, okay, I can definitely develop in that area. But I think you should be looking at developing every area of your life, not just one area, not just business. Even though I do recommend business over anything, which I know a lot of people may disagree with me, but the reason I recommend that over all other areas to begin with, at least, is because it then gives you that time to be able to really narrow down and focus on the other areas in your life, maybe where you're not as happy, whether it's the way you look, whether it's the things you do,
and it gives you the money to be able to do
everything
those
costs
things
money
as well.
I did a webinar the other night, and Reece will tell you this, that there's people on there going, well, money's not everything. Well, yes, it is if you use it in the correct ways. If you use it to leverage your time, if you use it to leverage your time to do the things you love, if you use it to get yourself one of the best PTs in the country, to get your health to where you need to be. It is everything. The clothes you're wearing, the mics we're speaking in, like, it is everything if you use it in the right ways.
That's like, there's that saying, ain't there? I don't know who it is, but it's someone like high up out there, and they were basically saying, like, when people obviously say money isn't the goal, money isn't the object and stuff like that, like, you won't be happy if you've got money, to a certain extent. But I think, like, when people say, like, health is wealth and stuff like that, you can't really be too focused on your health if you don't have the money, because when something happens, say like if you have an issue with your teeth, you won't be able to afford that at the dentist. If you have a really I don't know, complex issue or illness or something like that, most of the time in the UK you're on a waiting list for 2 years. It's going to get
use
worse.
your dog as an example. Use your dog.
So my dog Boss, he's a Frenchie, allergic to the world, and I had him, he was probably about a year and a half, and literally he was absolutely fine. Out of nowhere, one morning he was struggling to go to the toilet and stuff like that, so I rang the vets, they took him in, and he needed 2 urgent surgeries.
How much?
Combined everything, all the vets, was about £10,000. If I was a chef, he would have been put down. So it's just things like that. So I understand what people say, like money, you know, health is wealth and stuff like that. But if you have money, your health will be a lot better. And I think that's where the short-term sacrifice comes in. Gary Vee also mentions this. Like, if you can do, I think it's the $3 pizza method or something like that. Like, people want to eat healthy all the time. Eating healthy is expensive. Being healthy is expensive. So if you can sacrifice 6 months, you know, feeding your body rubbish or something like that, whilst you improve the rest of your life,
1,000,000%.
Those 6 months will literally not have an
effect.
effect.
You know what? A lot of people disagree with you with that, but I 100% agree with you just based on experience. A lot of people will say that's bullshit. I shouldn't. I'm not going to sacrifice my health, my mental health, and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. Don't sacrifice your health for 6 months and stay working a 9 to 5. Like, that's literally it, you know. But a lot of people disagree.
I think it would be a catch-22 for different people, because there'll be some people that do kind of eat healthy and it would completely change their mindset, and they'll be in a place that they would never be if they were eating crap. And then it would change how they feel about their life. So I think it's different. And I think some people, if you've got that motivation and discipline, doesn't matter what you eat, what you do, you're going to do what you've set out to do. So I think it depends.
I've told this story once before. There was a guy, I've seen this story before, this guy, very toned, very in shape, and it was literally a 1 minute video. one minute video. And he was basically saying how he sacrificed his health for 5 years. 5 years. He said he was damaging his body. And as he's speaking, it shows a picture of him from, like, you know, 2000 and whatever. And he was so overweight, like his face just really obese. But he sacrificed those 5 years to really focus on business. All his friends used to take the piss because he stopped going to the gym and focused on his business. But now he has every single hour of the day to work out. He has. But
say with me, if I ate crap, like, because I've done it in the past where I've, you know, put on weight and ate rubbish. Like, I can't get up in the mornings. Like, I can't work for as long as possible. So, like, for me, if I do the reverse of that, I then feel better, so I can cope, like, more.
But do you have the money to do that? Because obviously, what Reece is trying to say is that it's the money issue, isn't it? It's that not having the money.
It's that short-term effect. It's like if you've got, like, a back issue, if you go to, like, I don't know, the government, like, health centre or something, they'll help you and, you know, get back to where you were and stuff like that. Whereas if you were to go private, if you've got the money, they will make sure it doesn't happen again. They will help you and give you the best treatment.
But if you were healthy, would you get the issue? Would you get the issue?
That is the question. So obviously, like, you can go at this in 2 different ways. Like, the majority of people out there will generally, like, not want to sacrifice their health, but they will stay in a comfortable position. But the only downside to that is if something is to happen. So whether you're in good health, like, I know people that have been, I know people, like, who have been at the top of their game in fitness and stuff like that, and before you know it, like, an injury can happen. Once that injury happens, like, they can't go to work, their income's gone, and it's like, now them getting back on track is going to be so extended. The period of time getting back on track so hard. Even if they've got a dog, like in my situation, like, they would have lost their dog. So in a sense, I get that. It's a bit of a complicated angle in that it works in different ways.
Either way, if you want to be successful in something, you've got to sacrifice something. Whether it's your health, whether it's time with your children, whether it's your social life, sleep. Like, that's what I mean. You could say, like, you know, for a year, I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep a night.
I'm going to wake up in an
it
hour
might make me
work.
ill, but that's just what I've got to do. So
every time there's a gain, there's a sacrifice.
There's
People
got
don't
to
see
be
that.
something.
Like, we are where we are because of the sacrifices we've made, and the problem is people aren't willing to make those sacrifices, and that's why a lot of people aren't where we are, because they don't want to make those initial sacrifices. If you told someone not to spend, you know, a week with their kids and really get that business up and running and get it out there making money, people are like, I can't do that. I can't not see my kids for a week. Well, cool. You don't have a business making money online then. Every time you get a gain, you look at the sacrifices you made to get that gain.
And that's what
it doesn't just land on a plate, here's a gain. What have I done to get that plate? You know, it's just,
no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying a second ago, I do completely agree. When people say money isn't everything, I agree in the sense of when you look at materialistic. So, you know, buying cars and buying houses and buying nice clothes and jewelry, it's never enough. It's never enough. So you're constantly chasing that next big thing. You're never satisfied. So yes, that doesn't make you happy. If you saw someone now dressed in Gucci top to bottom, that would not do it for me. That would not make me happy. And if it did, how long is that going to last? It's going to last a few weeks, and then you need the next new outfit that's out, or the next outfit everybody's wearing. But if you use money in the sense of using money to leverage your time, like Reece is saying, focus on your health. So really get your health together. You feel so much better in terms of health. We were looking the other day, because recently I've been trying to get fit. I've been doing it for a few years, but I haven't really been consistent. And we were looking at nutrition, and we were looking at, you know, these different supplements online. And I was thinking, damn, if I worked as a chef, I couldn't afford any of this.
I've just spent
it's crazy.
shitloads.
And but money allows you to buy the best supplements, the best foods, without even thinking. So, you know, like, there's two sides of money. It's what you do with the money. And I think if you put it in areas that helps you grow as a person, that helps you, let's say as an example, you know, members that are investing into memberships, they're using money to grow. They're using money to learn new things that's going to help them grow as a person, make a bigger income, or another income. That is then going to leverage their time more, whether they're working a 9 to 5 or running a business they don't want to run anymore. It's going to leverage their time. So they can then put their time into more things that they love doing, whether it's hobbies, whether it's fitness, exercise, whether it's learning new skill sets on top of e-commerce. It's just using the money in the right ways. That's what makes you happy.
And I guess in that situation, go back to the gym thing. So like if you are working a 9 to 5, you went to the gym after work, played football, whatever. I'm thinking of a guy here, but like say like if you then became a member, had to find some time somewhere to put that attention into this. That's where you'd have to drop the football.
Yeah, absolutely. But how many people, Anna, are not willing to do that?
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
And I was going to say, in our early days, we didn't have holidays. And like we love traveling, but we didn't have holidays because we're like, one day we'll be traveling the world all the time, and we'll think back.
I know there's so many people where they say like they haven't got money, and then you see them and you're like,
on their story,
what?
They're on holiday.
You're here. I said,
There was something I said before, or it actually might have been you, or I said it after you, or whatever. But I was like, forget the holidays, forget the nice cars, forget the playing football and doing your hobbies and going out at weekends. You're not where you want to be in life. What the F are you celebrating? You know, you see people on a Friday night celebrating, drinking. What are you celebrating? Look at where you're at. Use that time to build a business. Use that time and the money. Stop, like your I don't think anything bad's going to happen to your family if you don't go away for a year. But look what you can create in the background, and it's short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. And it's like, okay, let's sacrifice. Me and you as an example, we did a podcast in Portugal about this. You know, let's not have a holiday for 1 to 2 years. We love traveling, but we used to have like 1 to 2 a year. Let's not have any holidays for 1 to 2 years. Let's build this empire, and then we can travel the world, Tami. We can travel the world. We've got no job to go back to. You know, we don't have to ask to go on holiday. Let's sacrifice all the money we would spend in those 2 holidays a year. We'll put into the business and let the business make us more money, and then we use that money to gain the freedom, and then we use that freedom and money to travel the world. And that's what we do today. But most people don't get to that point of sacrificing. They can't sacrifice. It's cheaper. It's that short term of dopamine. It's that I need a break. I'm so busy. It's okay, cool. Spend the money on living your best life for a week, but then use that same excuse. I don't have money to invest into a skill set, into a business. That's the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem you see. That's why most people don't start.
I think it's mainly like this generation as well. Like it seems to get worse and worse. When you look back at like our parents' generation, even the generation before that, it was all about like the goals, leveling up, like achieving milestones and stuff like that.
Work ethic was
so high.
Like,
it's crazy. But now, like when you look at the work ethic, it's like people are happy just getting an average job that pays, and then on the weekends, like what you're saying, that short dopamine effect and stuff like that. I think a lot of people, though, which is sad to see, the majority of people would rather look rich than actually be rich. And this is like, I guarantee if you go to any
social media,
if you go to any popular country or any popular place in Spain, as an example, you will see British tourists there, head to toe in Gucci, man bags, everything like that. It's just like, it's literally, and it's just like,
that's not the goal.
It's not the goal.
But everyone hates their jobs as well.
That's what I mean.
Like, I don't know if we went out somewhere, or you know, like when you just go into a shop, or like you're on the phone for customer service. No one cares about who they're working for. No one cares about offering good customer service. Like, to me, this is what I've noticed quite recently. Everyone is just there because they have to be, and they're like such robots. Like, hi.
I've got the perfect example of this. Yesterday,
like,
I got,
what do you want?
Literally,
like you're literally like, you clearly like hate. Like, you could just feel the hate coming out.
Not everyone though. I'd get the odd messages saying that I love my job and I'm looking for a side income. You get the odd message. You do get the odd message.
It's just like when you're out and about in retail, like corporate, like fast food restaurants. Younger people that have got like their first job, no one to me at the moment seems like happy to be like getting that experience. So I think that's like coming off what you said, when they get to the weekend, or they get the chance to they've saved for like months to go away, they just want to go mad. That's kind of what I feel
average
like.
mentality.
But then it's sad because like that is generally all they know, and it's like, and I understand it. Like when you look at like, I don't know, their life as an example, to them it's like that's the only short dopamine they get. Like they don't have a goal that they're achieving because they haven't had an opportunity.
Working towards nothing.
They haven't had that and stuff. But I think what is worse than that is one of these people that know they're not happy, they get presented with an opportunity and they don't take it. That is probably the worst type of mindset you can have. The perfect example of what you were saying with like people just generally hating their jobs, I had a random phone call yesterday, weird number, answered it, and it was British Gas. And in my house I don't have gas, everything's electric, and he's ringing me up saying, we've got a massive offer on, you've been like selected, we want to put you through to like what was it, one of our like sales team and stuff like that, we can get you cheaper rates on your gas. And I was like, my house is all electric, I don't have gas. And he was like, oh. And then I was like, how did you even get my number? I'm not even with British Gas or anything like that. So how did you get my number? It was like, to be fair, I don't even know. I'm just going to do a phone call. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, can you remove from your list? He's like, yeah, sure, mate. And he literally hung up, like just didn't give a crap.
But if you are in that situation, like if you are in a 9 to 5, like that is the perfect opportunity. Like I think you've said, that's where you got like your good customer service skills. If you're young or just in a job, like just find like the golden pieces that you can develop yourself in, because there will be something instead of like you said, just waiting for like 5 o'clock to hit to go. Like what can you get out of this opportunity while you're here? Well, even if you're working on something else, you might still have to be there for a little while. So
but there is a difference between like having a career that isn't work. I think like from the very beginning we're all taught the word work is the only way you make it through life, which is completely false. You know, work to me is working your ass off and not being paid much for it, using your brain, which everybody has, and you don't need many brain cells to become successful these days. Using your brain and you actually think, that's going to make you far more successful than actually working. And people don't understand the differences there. People think you work to get to the top or you work to get by. Everybody works. My mum and dad worked, but the world is a different place right now, and I think it's important that you understand that using your brain and being a little bit creative, which once again anybody can do, is going to get you much further in life. than working hard.
But I think even with the members that we've got coming through now that are like really high up in their careers, really good jobs, earning good money, like when you're on that higher end bracket of like a corporate job, you still soon realise like that's not enough. That's not what you want. Like where else can you go from here? You can't outwork yourself anymore from where you are. So what
I think that's like stepping stones, ain't it? It's like getting a job and a career. To me, it's the same shit. Like either way. So I think like getting a job or a career, whatever you've got, is the first stepping stone. You've now got yourself an income. You've unlocked that step. Yeah. Beyond that step, the second step is probably the hardest one, and that is going further in your journey in your life. And I think most people get to that first step. Oh, it's not too bad. I've got money coming in. I've got a bit of freedom there. Yeah. Whereas if you invest that, what that basically makes you do is you sacrifice short-term sacrifices to get to the second step and the third step. The third step is the freedom. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants, in this generation, everyone wants money. Everyone wants to do whatever they want, but they don't know how to get there. So the people that have an income, you've got so much opportunity there to achieve so much with that. You just need to work your ass off. That is literally what it is. So many people are comfortable. So many people are happy getting that weekend dopamine and stuff like that. Literally sounds like a drug, but that is literally what it is. That's what people are living for. But I think for the people out there that do want to level up, when you've unlocked that first step, you've got a job, you've got a career, whatever you want to call it, and you're getting an income, use that. And for the people that say, I haven't got time, I'm busy doing this and stuff like that, you can make time. We've all got 24 hours in a day. If you need an extra hour a day to build something, sleep an hour less, literally, short-term sacrifices. But you in life, to get anywhere, you do need to work your ass off. When we were working, as an example, when we were chefs, we were waking up 6:30, 7 in the morning, driving to work. We were at work until probably some days was 10 p.m, 10:30. We would go home. Most people at that stage would be like, oh, I'm tired. I'm just going to chill for a bit, go to bed and stuff like that. We were up until 12, some nights, 12, half 12, 1 o'clock, because we wanted to get shit done. I think it's a very bad and poor mindset to just be focused on a career or a job, because essentially whilst you're doing that, your boss at the top is living their dreams. And you've got time, you've got 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day to work your ass off and allow him to work on live his dreams, but you can't work on your own dreams when you go home.
And I think that's why it's important that you do something you're passionate about. And this is why e-commerce is amazing, because in e-commerce it covers every single product that's on this planet. So if you're a builder and all you know is building, and you love using the tools as an example, I don't think many builders do. Go into create your own tool set. Like the suppliers are there, the manufacturers are there, and it's the same suppliers and manufacturers that the big brands use. Go and create your own one.
Not just that, I know, Alex has worked with people who in their regular job, say for example they're a bricklayer, and they know they've got obviously inside information, they know this thing is really expensive. Go and source it from elsewhere and sell it to people at the top. And Alex has helped members.
And also the passion is what gives you that mindset of or motivation of when you get home, I'm not going to go to sleep, I'm going to work on it, because you believe in the product. You know what you need to do.
I would say half of it's passion. I'd say the other half is discipline.
Yes.
So when you're,
but it gives you the discipline if you believe in the product, it's good. Yeah. If it's just something that you're just it's all right, I know a few companies are selling it, why would you want to stay up till 12 o'clock?
I think if you create yourself a vision board, if you create yourself, where you are now, where you want to be in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, whatever. If that end goal actually meant enough to you, if you actually, believed in yourself, you actually looked at the end goal. Let's say the end goal was to, retire your parents and you live financially free. That's your end goal. If that meant enough to you, you wouldn't have to be passionate about what you're doing and what you're selling. Passion helps. And it gives you momentum, and it keeps you probably more consistent than you would be. But I think the bottom line is discipline in anything. And I think if you say to yourself right now, I want to quit my job and I want to be financially free and I want to do what I want to do, if you actually meant that, it will happen. because everybody has the same tools and resources. It will happen. There's no way it wouldn't happen. But you have to be disciplined. And when you're disciplined, nothing will stop you, because you'll get home and, like me and Reece, 10:30, felt a little bit tired. We got stuff to do, Reece. If we get this done tonight, we box that off. So we sit there for an hour, not long, an hour, get it done, open our laptop, get it done, box it off. Wake up the next day, new day. What is our goal today? And it's just those small steps daily. It's not the big one day that you do. It's the small steps that you do daily. What I love about members actually here is they still enjoy their weekends. This is the thing. We're sitting here saying, sacrifice your weekends. Like, do you know what? The members are so consistent Monday to Friday around their jobs that they can actually relax the weekends. I would still say put the work in on the weekends, just how I am, but they relax on the weekends. But that's fine, because look what you've accomplished this week. Most people ain't accomplished shit apart from gone to work and got paid their wage. So I think like the goal for everybody should be freedom, not money. To begin with, it's money, because money is the tool to freedom. And everybody should see money as a tool. But most people are brainwashed to see money as something else. Use money to make money, and that and when you use money to make money and you make money work for you, that's where you start to get the freedom, because money is working for you. There's something I put out there quite a while back, and it was one picture showing someone doing hard labor. And that's somebody working for money. And then it shows someone in a big armchair, in a tracksuit, I think he had shorts on, literally just on a laptop, or was he on a phone? Can't remember. And that's money working for you. So he's basically ordering people to do the work. He's not working. He's saying, this is what needs to be done. I think it was on the phone. And basically, it's his money that he's paying the employees to do the work. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like, you work for the money, or the money works for you. Yeah. And it's two ways. And that's working hard, and that's working smart. So that's the goal. It's using money to make money and make money work for you. It's the only way you'll ever have financial freedom. It's the only way you'll be able to have enough time to do the things you love. Like I say, some people listen to this and disagree with us, Anna, because people message me often and go, I love my job. I'm not joining you to quit my job. Yeah. And I'm like,
sometimes I genuinely wish I was more like that, because then you'd be content, work your job, go home. But I think some people just want
security.
More, or
some people those people security. But
how
can you enjoy your job, Anna?
Because I think there must be something where they are just I think
it's very simple. It's very
I don't know.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's like if you look at a surgeon.
There are a lot of people that are like that would just go to work, come home, watch EastEnders.
I did actually work in a job. Just to put that out there.
What's that?
I did actually love my job. I loved going into the office.
But there's nothing
I wanted more.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But there is.
There's not. There's not. Because if everyone was like us, who's going to buy stuff?
So if you're happy in your job that only allows you 2 holidays a year, you'll never get to see the world.
But some
people don't want to see the world.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to see the world?
Because everyone's different.
It's a beautiful place.
They could just Google it on YouTube.
I think,
look, guys, if you're happy in your job, then just have a look at some holidays online.
Yeah. Not everyone's.
I get what you're saying. Like, some people do like their jobs. I think when you look at somebody that's like a surgeon, like saving somebody's life, like
that must be really rewarding.
Got to be very rewarding.
Yeah.
That's something different. But
I think you'd get to a point maybe that you'd be like, this is
I think like when if you repeat the same shit day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, after 40 years, to me, that's making me go insane.
That's no different as a chef, though. We're cooking the same shit every single day.
That's what I mean. But like for me, I think whilst I was a chef 5 years, I maybe had like 3 holidays, nowhere nice. But one of my holidays was I went to Asia. And when I went to Asia, it was just like a different world. And I think that opened my eyes, going back to that little town where everyone's just rude, and I'm back doing that same shit day in, day out. For me, it was like, how do I get more of that? Like, that's what I want. Exactly. And I think traveling opens your mindset up so much with that.
I think especially with what we're doing, and especially when I speak to members that have never even known that this world exists. It's really good if you do like your job or you like the expertise that you're in, you then realise there's ways you can leverage on that, so you're not constrained to like hours. You can sell your expertise, you can sell services or a product off the back of that.
But if you love your job, you can also love running your own business probably more than you love your job. Do you know what I mean? I think only because you love something, it doesn't mean you should settle for it.
No.
I think you need to understand that there's probably something out there that you love even more than you love your job, but you don't know that because you're not trying anything else. You know, it's like let's say you go and buy a drink and there's 4 different flavors, and you buy one and you go, oh wow, this flavor's amazing, this is my favorite flavor, I love this flavor, but you might like the second flavor even more, but you don't know without trying
I'm content with the first one.
But you see what I mean. But that is quite common. It's like I even do it sometimes. I go to a new restaurant and I'll try something and I'm like, wow, that is amazing. There's 30 things on the menu. I'll go back the next time and I'll have the exact same meal again because that's my favourite meal. But how do I know that's my favourite meal? I haven't tried the other 29 meals.
But I think as well, it is, again, I know this is a complete different topic, but it is who you surround yourself with as well. Because if you are around people where that's the norm, you go to your job, you come back, go to the gym, go for some food, go to sleep, do the same thing again, and no one else is doing anything different to you. Like that's life. That's life. But then if you have that one person, you're like, oh, what are they doing? Like they're not working as much, they're doing this. And then you get to know what they're doing or who they're surrounding themselves with. That's where you will start to think differently as well.
I think that clashes as well. Like that kind of ties, not fully, but that kind of ties in with comfort zones, I think, for a lot of people. So like if I was in a position where I'm working your typical 9 to 5, nothing special, I'm earning a salary, you know, my mortgage is being paid, I've got maybe 100 quid left at the end of the month or 200 quid, my friends are doing all the same, everyone at work's doing all the same, like to me that's normal, and I'm in a comfort zone. Like I don't need more out of life, I'm happy, I've got 200 quid I can save up and stuff like that. But then I think if there was somebody else, or if I see somebody online and they're living this crazy life, they're driving around in these nice cars, they've got a massive house, they're traveling the world, I'm going to sit there and be like, how do I get that? Like you either ask yourself, how do I get that? Or
I'm never going to get that.
Or I'm never going to get that. Like,
that's not made for me.
I wish I'd win the lottery.
My
like
family's not that family.
Something
never
like
happens
that.
To me.
Like, like so lucky, or rich mummy and daddy, like that sort of stuff. But I think that's what separates the people. But like within e-commerce, we do need 9 to 5ers because they're buying our products.
That's
like, we do need that. So, you know, it benefits us in that sense.
It's amazing for us, like we mentioned, so many members from a confidence level. Like even I spoke to some people earlier that are coming to the event tomorrow. They're like, oh, I'm so nervous. I was like, honestly, you'll be fine. And then once they come to like their 3rd or 4th one, it's like they're out of their comfort zone talking to new people.
But even with ourselves, Anna, we get into comfort zones and we try something new. Even when you get to these levels, even through like businesses as a whole, you're always going to come out of one comfort zone into another, out of another into another, and you're always trying to push yourself to do new things. And
now you realise, like, if you are worried about, nervous about doing something, it's having that understanding that I just have to do it. Like, I have to do it. Whereas before, you'd probably do anything you could not to do it, but you know you're gonna be better for you to do it. You're gonna progress. Might be rubbish at it, whatever it is the first time, but you've got to do it.
I think you learn
progress.
That sometimes you regret things that you haven't done rather than the things you have done. So you might try something new and think, oh, that was like, I was really crap at that, or no, that didn't work out. But at least you know that. You wouldn't know that. There's things where you think in the past, like, okay, I never tried that. I wonder if that would have been really good. Like,
that's the worst regret.
I've had that with businesses before as well, where I've genuinely wanted to quit, like, because I just had enough of it. But I was like, if I quit and if I just leave everything, I will always be wondering, like, what would have happened if I would have like kept going. And then that kind of keeps you going because you've had this vision for your business. So when you do have those thoughts of getting scared because you have to push your boundaries, maybe invest more or find out how things are going to work out, the easiest thing to do would be to quit. But obviously you need to push yourself outside your comfort zone, to take risks and be like, I'm just going to do it.
That was good. I think that the best rewards are they come from the biggest risks. And I think for people like, you know, that are scared to take a risk or scared to do something, like, you're holding back. Give it a shot. If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. The worst case that something's going to happen to yourself is you're in the same position as you were before. That is literally it. And like, if you've been in a position for 5 years, it's not that bad for you. Do you know what I mean? But if it works out for the goods, like, cool, you've now leveled up. Once again, those stepping stones, you're now a step forward. So it's like, you just need to keep pushing. I think you just need to be hungry for more. And for the people that aren't hungry, they're just happy doing the same stuff day in, day out, like, good for you. But for the people that do want an opportunity, the people that do want to level up, there's stuff out there for you.
100%.
It's been a good podcast.
That has been really good.
Really good.
I think we could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's a good topic.
Anna just wants to argue with us all.
Come on, Anna.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Cheers.